Hey, it's another episode of Confessions of an Agriculture Teacher Educator. This is the Youth Development Series, and we're about done on this series of videos. In fact, we would only have 3 more class sessions. No, excuse me, 2 more class sessions. This was the third to the end. Took time today to go through a structured reflection, which was just fascinating, about the implementation of pink time in Ag Ed 311. Some of you may know Daniel Pink, of course, is a New York Times bestselling author, and this theory of motivation and what drives humans. And he came to and shared in his book that it's about mastery, autonomy, and then purpose. So how in our education, how in our schooling, how in our professional development are we empowering those individuals to have mastery, autonomy, and purpose? To try to walk that walk, and understanding that differentiation of teaching is important, that every student has a unique spot on their Teach Ag journey where they're at, that beyond differentiation, that I believe in experiential education, and these young people need to know how to facilitate experiential education, so they need to know how to create experiences for themselves and make them meaningful to the purpose. We had 5 pink time sessions in Ag Ed 311. That's 10 instructional hours. One of the funny comments today was that we had to fill out their final grade where they self-evaluated themselves for this 10% of their final grade in this class on how they used it and did it advance toward course goals on a pink sheet of paper to represent their pink time. And we acknowledge that if you can't regulate your pink time that you're given to advance yourself to accomplish goals, then you may be looking at pink slips. I find it fascinating to talk and work with students who I believe just need to be emboldened and empowered to throw the chains off of dependency. That, yes, I can identify what I need to know and I can go find it. I don't have to be led by the nose via a PowerPoint and given a midterm or a final that I regurgitate on to prove something to somebody. That I can take my time and value it because of the need for me to grow as an individual, be the best positive agent of change. It sounds nice, but it's not easy. In fact, a lot of the reflection today as we worked through it, and we watched a great TED talk about, why do we even clock in and clock out of work, what if we were just performance-based. We talked about, watched this Sir Ken Robinson talk where it does the animation about changing the paradigms of education. We evaluated the goals of the course and how we use the time. So the reflection I thought was neat to listen to the conversations. But it's interesting to me how uncomfortable some students are with what you would call maybe lack of guidance or structure. I think many of them wanted like a list, choose one of these things to go do. And that the challenge of, this is what we've been learning in this class, these are the goals of the class, you need to go find something that's meaningful to you for 2 hours, at least, that can advance your thinking, is scary. And at first I think it sounds great to a lot of people. You're like, hey, pink time. 5 days off. Well, when you realize that you had to be held accountable and you have to go find your own experiences and make those connections or spend that wisely, it becomes challenging. I'll be honest, I'm not going to look at the evaluations that I had them do for another probably 3 or 4 weeks. I'm going to wait till the semester's over and I'm into the next, probably late January. It gives me some time to move away from it because obviously as an instructor, I made this pedagogical decision, so I'm all in. I think it was awesome. I think it was needed. I think that it allowed me to role model and teach some of the things we want to go do. So I'm afraid if I read the evaluations now, I would be defensive, and I don't want that. So I'm going to wait and come back and see how these students took it later in January. But I did enjoy how we worked through the reflection today. I felt that was a very productive use of time. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Confessions of an Ag Teacher Educator.